In the chaos of war, some heroes don't carry weapons. Their battlefield is the hospital tent. Their armor is a simple uniform, and their only mission is to save lives. Today, we resharing the incredible story of a woman who became the last line of defense for those who could undefend themselves. Imagine a makeshift field hospital just miles from the front lines. The air is thick with tension, the distant rumble of conflict, a constant, grim reminder of the danger. Inside, a dedicated team of medics and nurses works tirelessly. Among them is a young nurse. Let's call her Ilara. She's not a soldier. She's a healer. Her days are a blur of changing bandages, administering medicine, and offering what little comfort she can to the wounded soldiers lying on their cots. One afternoon, the rumbling grew louder, closer. The ground trembled. Panic began to ripple through the tent. The enemy was breaking through. The order came down: evacuate. Everyone who could move had to leave immediately. But what about the others? What about the soldiers, too injured to walk, too weak to even lift their heads? They were trapped, vulnerable. As able-bodied personnel began to flee, a stark choice presented itself: stay and face almost certain death, or leave the wounded to their fate. For most, the instinct for survival took over. But not for Ilara. As chaos erupted around her, she stood her ground. She looked at the faces of her patients' young men, far from home, now completely defenseless. She couldn't abandon them. It wasn't a choice for her. It was a duty, a promise she had made to herself and to every person she cared for, to protect them. The sounds of battle were no longer distant. They were right outside the tent flaps. Armed soldiers, hostile and aggressive, stormed in, their eyes scanning the room. They saw the wounded, the cots, and the lone figure standing guard. It was Ilara, small and unarmed, positioned firmly between the intruders and her patients. She held no weapon, only a tray of medical supplies. But her stance was defiant, her gaze unwavering. She was a silent human shield. The soldiers shouted at her, ordering her to move. She refused. She spoke to them not with defiance, but with a quiet strength that seemed to puzzle them. She explained that these were wounded men, no longer a threat to anyone. They were simply patients under her care. In that moment, she wasn't just a nurse. She was the sole guardian of every life in that room. The tension was unbearable. A single wrong move, a single misunderstood word could have ended everything. The lead soldier approached her, his weapon raised. He stared into her eyes, searching for fear, for a reason to push past her. But all he saw was compassion and an unshakable resolve. Her courage seemed to create an invisible force field, a barrier built not of steel, but of sheer humanity. What happened next was remarkable. After a long, silent moment that felt like an eternity, the soldier lowered his weapon. He gave a curt nod, turned around, and led his men out of the tent, leaving Ilara and her patients unharmed. They didn't take anything. They didn't harm anyone. They just left. The quiet that followed was more profound than the noise before it. just Elara's act of courage. Didn't win the war, but it saved dozens of lives that day. It's a powerful reminder that heroism comes in many forms. It isn't always about the grand battles we see in movies. Sometimes it's about one person's refusal to back down in the face of overwhelming odds, driven by nothing more than their own conscience. Her story shows us that the greatest strength can be found in the deepest compassion, and that sometimes the most powerful shield is a human heart. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales of incredible human spirit. We'll see you in the next one.